And did you know that a mining company in Colorado once attacked workers and their families with machine guns and even a mounted Gatling gun with the help of the National Guard, all because they were striking for better working conditions? Hey y'all, I'm Raymond, and I'm here to make sure that we don't forget moments in history like this, and that you know where you can go pay your respects to the victims of the 1914 Ludlow Massacre. Happy Labor Day. In September 1913, the United Mine Workers of America called a strike here in Ludlow, Colorado, off of what is now Interstate 25. The workers' demands were about an 8-hour workday, safe conditions, and less company control over their lives. Note that this was 25 years after Congress enacted into law an 8-hour workday and 20 years before collective bargaining rights were enacted. The response from the Colorado Fuel and Iron Company was to evict men, women, and children from company housing. So the UMW leased land and built a tent city wherein 1,200 people, mostly migrant workers speaking 24 distinct languages, came together to live in 200 tents. This was their most successful organizing after decades of issues and attempts to strike. A month later, the governor of Colorado called in the National Guard, and they filled their ranks with a growing number of pissed-off companymen who didn't think the miners deserved safe conditions, housing, or humane treatment. 3 months into the strike in tent city living, December 1913, and the worst blizzard in 30 years hits the region. So think about how important this strike was to the workers and their families, that they were willing to endure a blizzard in 10 by 14 canvas tents with wooden panels, wooden floors, and dugout root cellars if you were lucky. There was of course also no electricity, no plumbing, no running water. Surprisingly though, survivors remembered their time in the camps fondly. Flash forward 7 months, the day before the massacre, April 19th, 1914, there was a Greek Orthodox Easter celebration that included festivities, food, and a baseball game, striking miners versus guards. 7 months into the strike, a celebration. Both sides came together. And then, 9 a.m. the next morning on April 20th, 1914, the first shot was fired, nobody knows by who. A machine gun set up on Water Tank Hill sprays the tent city blindly. A reinforced car called the Death Special had a mounted Gatling gun periodically do drive-bys and spray the tents with more gunfire. 720 train provides cover for women and children to escape the violence. The tent city, their home for 7 months, burned to the ground. 2 women and 11 children suffocated to death in a cellar hiding from the violence. So the workers go on strike, get evicted. 7 months later, after living through a blizzard in those tents, the massacre begins. I go through the details in part 2, but 25 people die just this day, including the 11 children and 2 women who suffocated in the cellar. This all kicks off a 10-day war that spanned 40 miles and cost 63 more people their lives. On April 30th, 1914, President Woodrow Wilson calls in federal troops while the striking workers rebuild. Yeah. A massacre didn't end the strike. 88 people dying didn't end the strike. We're talking April 30th. The federal troops break it up. The strike ended on December 7th, 1914, after 15 months and a massacre. Not because the company gave in, but because the UMWA ran out of funding to keep fighting. It did get the attention of the nation, finally, and also the powerful majority owner of the company, John D. Rockefeller, Jr. The tragic spotlight forced this corporation's hand to allow union organizing and hear grievances. The UMWA built the memorial in 1918 and purchased 40 acres. An annual service is still held to this day. Archaeology work on the tent city began in recent decades. I hope something can lead to more awareness and funding to ensure this history doesn't get lost.